Hello.
All right. Happy Monday. Look at us on a Monday morning.
Mornings are better than afternoons any day, I've realized.
For what?
For
everything?
podcasting. For most things, but for podcasting. I used to be an afternoon only type of person. And now I realize that I have energy that just continuously wanes throughout the day. And there's a certain point where things just stop.
Mornings are not good for client calls. I don't client call in the morning. I don't care for
No,
it.
I agree. It's good for podcasting. It's good for creative stuff. It's good for reflection, thinking.
Yeah. The thinking work, the writing work.
Yeah,
Let it swirl around in your brain work.
exactly. And then when
That's
that's
the work.
done, that type of energy can continue to wane and you don't have to be stressed about it. And then you can still help people, but it takes a different energy on client calls
Yeah.
in my experience anyway.
The force it, because what happens is I feel like I used to do my client calls in the morning and then I'd have to force out the work
Right.
that we're describing, like the creative work in the afternoon. It was like, oh, it was a slog.
Total slog.
So, but hey, maybe one day that will change.
100%. It's going to change.
It's probably going to change.
100%. Everything changes. Nothing is forever.
Everything changes. Everything grows.
So what do you want to talk about today?
I want to talk about our friends over at Share Your Genius.
So do I. Let's just talk about them the whole time.
Let's talk about them the whole time. Share Your Genius. We thank our friends over at Share Your Genius for supporting and sponsoring this show. It wouldn't be possible without them. And if you, dear listener, want to start a show and you don't know who to trust to help edit your show and bring it to life, look no further than our friends over at Share Your Genius. If you've been editing your own show, like a barbarian, like me, like I used to do, and you're like, I can't do this anymore, but who could I trust? Look no further than our favorite genius team over at Share Your Genius. Call Rachel today and tell her Nick and Erica sent you.
Please do.
I feel like I'm getting better at that plug. That's totally off the dome, just making it up.
I know, it's great.
I've said it enough times where I feel like I have a thing. I have like a good spiel, as they say.
You absolutely do. I love it.
Okay, what are we talking about today? What do we want to talk about today? I want to talk about limiting beliefs, because this is something that has come up a lot lately. Like a lot. Like probably every entrepreneur we know, as just friends, as peers, the vast majority of our clients are experiencing some of these things. We're seeing it pop up more and more. And it seems like it's the main catalyst, or like the main hurdle in basically everyone's life.
Yeah.
We all have them, like you and I included. We all have these things, and they just kind of live rent free with us. And we're starting to notice patterns. So we want to share them, share what we're seeing, in the hopes that it will help someone else think about their relationship with work and what they're working towards in a different way.
It's so important because I think that generally there are two ways that people go out on their own, either by choice or by force. I would say, I think most of the people we work with are by choice, but I think that's going to keep shifting. Just it's a crazy market right now. It's a great time to go out on your own. There's a lot of opportunity, but it's also really scary. And either way, no matter how you end up there, the one thing I don't think people do very well, us included, especially when I first started, is preparation, is planning, is understanding what does this mean if I'm now on my own. And so because there's none of that vision planning, you end up just sort of implementing. You go. And most of us that go out and do this, especially the people we work with, are highly talented, very talented people. And they can make it really far and be quote unquote successful objectively. But what happens is eventually, because we haven't done so much of this work that's required, which we'll talk all about that today, but we get riddled with these limiting beliefs and they smack us in the face and we believe them. And we start to create these pseudo prisons for ourselves where, because we're working so hard, we don't even really understand what's going on, what these limiting beliefs are, and how they're impacting our business. And it can end up putting you into a pretty intense place of burnout, of anxiety, of not understanding why you're even doing what you're doing anymore, if it's worth it. A lot of people say to us, I can't handle this for more than X amount of time longer, whatever they make up in their mind before. It's like, maybe I'll just go get another job that feels more peaceful than this. And so all of this is so important. And yeah, it's a really important topic. So let's just dive in. We've had a client recently who's reached this point that I was just describing. And one of her biggest limiting beliefs, and I want to start here because I think it's really relatable, is if I rest, everything will fall apart, right? Like, I think the thing she said to us was, I just feel like I really need like a month. Like, I just need some time to just chill. I'm tired. And that's stemming from a lot of things. She doesn't think that she can take a break, essentially. So, Nick, like, how do you get here? Let's start there. And then how do we get out of it?
I mean, there's a lot of roads to how we get here, but I think overarching what we've seen is, you've heard this one before. We hear it a lot. It's like, well, a lot of people are willing to work 60 hours a week to avoid working 40. Like this idea that being an entrepreneur, yes, like it's better in a lot of ways. It's not that it's better across the board. Like there's time and a place for people to take a W-2 job for whatever reasons. 100%. But that doesn't mean that it's not because a W-2 is safer or more stable or easier or like it's just a different thing. And so I want to like reorient ourselves around this idea that like entrepreneurship is definitely not a riskier choice. And we go into it feeling that way. So we work our ass off like a lot.
Yeah.
We work ourselves to death, and you start to unintentionally adopt this belief that like the business can't run without me. If I stop, the revenue stops. If I take time off, I'll lose some clients. If I'm not constantly working, I'm falling behind. All right. This like scarcity of time, scarcity of clients, and just overarching, like building a business in a way that's highly dependent on you. Some things we've heard people say, right? If I feel like I'm behind them always, no matter what. I wake up super stressed out every single morning.
Even without the emotional terrorists living with you that are the toddlers, which are responsible for some of that.
They are definitely, they don't help. They generally wake up ready to
cause
tear
chaos.
down. Yeah, ready to destroy something without a doubt. We hear people say things like, I'm so afraid of falling behind. It makes me never want to rest. I get a little ahead and then I can rest and then I'm just way behind again. If I take a break, I'm going to regret it, right? These are the things that we end up feeling around this idea that rest is not productive. And I think changing our relationship with the work and changing our relationship with what productivity is will certainly help. Because what happens is we tell ourselves taking time off feels impossible. It's scary. It might even feel irresponsible. So what happens is you don't take any time off and then you start to burn out. Or if you do, it's because it's forced. Like your spouse says we have to take a vacation. You get sick, there's a family emergency, and you end up probably just working the entire time anyway. I'm guilty of this one, and this is something that I'm reprogramming myself, is like my phone is always in my hand. I'm always checking messages. I feel like there's a different belief there, or it could show up in a different way. It's like checking Slack nonstop, checking your email nonstop. It's probably more about the desire to be liked and needed than it is about, and like this idea of dependency more than it is about in the inability to rest. I think they're certainly tethered together. And then when you do come back from a forced vacation or something, then everything feels chaos and your calendar's packed, your inboxes, if you haven't been keeping up with it, your inbox might be completely packed. Maybe you lose some money. And so you tell yourself, right, these like lies that we tell ourselves, or these beliefs that you've adopted, is like, I can't afford to take time off right now. Maybe once I hit a certain revenue goal, I'll take time off. My clients need me. They'll leave. And like, this is a big one too. It's like, our clients will leave if we're not as accessible or if we're not as available. And that's a big one. I think what we have found just personally and just with our other clients too, is like Clients they love to see you take time off. They're happy for you to take time off.
Yep.
They're grateful that
Our
you're
friend, and someone who then became a client was panicking when she was going to take a couple months off for maternity leave. And she was like, I swear all my clients are going to leave me. And then none of them did. It rarely happens that way. This is also interesting because I have felt this way for most of the time I've been solo. And standing here right now, I haven't taken a vacation in a year. So I'm guilty of this as well. I've definitely taken much lower effort weeks. So it's not like I'm working like crazy and dying, but I haven't taken a proper vacation. But I think that also has to do with just the toddlers. It's a crazy time of life.
Maybe because when you're not working, you're working.
Exactly. Like I'd rather be working sometimes than in this way than that way. It depends on
because this is way less stressful.
Seriously, the cortisol is lower doing this.
Yeah, much lower at work. Going to work is a break.
It is. And that explains a lot of the spousal conversations I have. Anyway, the point is this. The best question that you can ask yourself in this moment is, why do I feel like everything is going to fall apart if I leave? And then a reframe is like, well, what would happen if I actually did take some time off? Would everything actually fall apart? And to just sit and reflect on that. Like there's a couple of like really cool reframing questions you can ask yourself in this moment. So like, what if rest isn't the opposite of productivity? What if it's the source of it? Which we all know that it is, right? Like
your best thinking happens when you're not like hard thinking about whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah. Like we know that it's a logical yes from us, but then I think a lot of people feel the anxiety in the pit of their stomach, even still. So this is a cool one. Complete this sentence. When I rest, I am, and then you have to force yourself to find 10 positive ways to end that sentence, right? So for me, when I rest, I am so much more creative. When I rest, I am more at peace with my body, my soul, my mind, all of it. When I rest, I am thankful and grateful for what I'm building. Gives me a chance to feel excited that I've actually done something. A lot of the times you're so in the work that you can't even congratulate yourself for your success to this point. When I rest, it proves to my clients that I have boundaries, right? And that I'm not a slave to the work. So that's just all, it's really cool.
It proves to yourself.
Proves to yourself, right?
The boundary exists.
We recently, we're trying really hard to take Fridays off entirely. It's been a little bit difficult for, again, various reasons, but it's part of why we are recording on a Monday today. Maybe we'll record Friday mornings and take Friday afternoons off. But there's all these different ways where you can say, like, look, if I took a Friday off, if I moved all my client calls into my perfect week, what would that look like? Where would the rest then be? How do I schedule rest into my week? Like little micro resting moments instead of all of these like big, scary macro ways.
Yeah, you don't have to take a month off to rest.
Yeah.
I do think we need to change our relationship with rest and like what the business is here to do. Like rest, like what you said already, rest is not the opposite of productivity though, right? Rest, and I think it's probably not even the way to think about it is rest, because let's think about it this way. You going to the gym is not necessarily, it's not the same thing as sitting on the couch and doom scrolling. You going to the gym is actually a very productive thing to do. And it allows you to it triggers more expansive thinking. It allows you to think about problems and let your mind wander about different ideas and different things that you've been circling for a while. And it literally creates new neural pathways for you to solve problems or to just come up with ideas that you would not have otherwise come up with had you just been staring at your screen and forcing it. Like people think staring at your screen and forcing the workout is productive. I think that's the major issue here. I saw a post the other day from the other Nick Bennett, and he said it was something about mowing his lawn and how I love doing this, but it's certainly not productive. And I was like, it actually is really productive to sit there and mow your lawn and let your mind wander and dream and think about what you want your life to be like. This is a huge problem. There's a huge vision problem that we are diagnosing in the majority of entrepreneurs that we work with. And even just know, and I think we were guilty of this up until not too long ago, which was like we didn't really know where we were going. in that, like, yes, we had we had goals, but we didn't know what we wanted our life to look like. Quite literally, like, what do we do every day? What is the environment like? Who's there? That type of visioning where you can see it so clearly, that allows you that level of clarity on a piece of paper in front of you. And you're like, okay, that's what I'm working towards. Makes the steps when you think, all right, well, that's an exponential different life than what my life looks like today. Maybe it's not exponentially different, but also if it's not, potentially we're not thinking in the most expansive way possible. This is a possibility. So the idea is, well, once we know that, then we can make the blueprint, the steps required to go and achieve that. And it doesn't feel like, how do I re-swizzle my client load so that I can take one or two fewer clients and make the same amount of money or whatever, like basically just shuffling deck chairs at that point. And it doesn't get you to the next thing. It just keeps you trapped. And so it's like, we're trying, a big theme here is reorganizing our relationship with the idea of freedom, right? One thing that W2 work, and that we're coming to this conclusion, is like, it is so limiting in your ability to create freedom in your life. So let's think about it this way. Entrepreneurship isn't as risky as we are probably led to believe that it is. And so its role in life is to create freedom. But we all tell ourselves that once we earn a certain amount of money, then we'll be free. But most people haven't considered that freedom doesn't start with money, it starts with you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so it's like, but all of this stuff stems from all of these limiting beliefs that, like, oh, well, I can't rest. No one else can do this work as good as I can.
I've been very guilty of, when I just make a certain amount, I'll feel free. But I know that this isn't true, because I think I've been feeling that way since I've been stressed, since I've been in debt for a long time, because having kids, in my life experience, cost money. We used IVF, like, that's super expensive, and the debt cycle began. So for several years now, I've been thinking, I just got to make a certain amount of money, pay off the debt, I'll be happy. When I think about that and reflect on it, I know that's not true, because there have been so many times in my life where I have had the money and I've been actually way less happy than I am now. And then vice versa. The happiest I've ever been in my life was when I lived in Thailand. Yes, it's a Buddhist country. Like, there's a lot of like chill there, but I had no money. I was making nothing. I was making $800 a month. It's really cheap there. So like, that was actually a lot in the little town I was living in, but I had nothing. And I was doing acts of service all the time. I was just helping people. I was like vibing with the world. I had nothing. I was so happy.
Because you were super free.
I was free. Like, I was exactly where I wanted to be, doing what I wanted to do in that moment. And so we know, like, logically we know that money is not the answer to all happiness. Obviously, we need money. I'm not saying that. Like, also, I hear this from people a lot, especially on LinkedIn, when people get mad at each other. Oh, the only people that say you don't need money are people with money.
But I don't think it's that you don't need money. I think it's the relationship. The
relationship to money. You absolutely do need money. I need a lot of money. I want money.
I mean, people can have whatever they want. Like I think people get all bent out of shape because people are like, oh, like this person with all this money, or they want all this money. Like, how greedy. It's like, look, it's a human existence. Like, you're allowed to want whatever the hell you want. I don't judge. I don't care. But I think it's important to change the relationship with what it means to be financially free. Like, financially free is not a number in your bank account. It's no obligations.
Yep. Financially free to me means making all the money I need to make to survive, but also living in the way that I want, so that the way that I'm making money does not feel like I am a slave to money, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think no obligations, like, your money is yours, and it enables all of the other freedoms that we want in our life, like location freedom, social freedom, things like that. It allows you to do all the stuff that you want to do. But it's financial freedom. Like, you talk to people with a lot of money and they're like, once I got all the money, like, I was the same dude with a bunch of money and I still had all the same problems. The other thing is, like, So let's go down this rabbit hole, right? And more limiting beliefs that are it's like they're all tied together in in all these ways. So think about it this way. You could have all the money in the world in your bank account, but if you have this limiting belief that there will be no more money, or that like you're going to lose it all, or that you don't deserve it, you're not deserving of that you didn't work hard enough for, you didn't suffer enough, you didn't sacrifice enough, then you're still going to operate. Like you see these crazy stories of people on the internet of people who are like, oh, they have like all this money, but they like drive like a 1992 Honda Accord and their house is falling apart because they're like afraid to use it because they're afraid they're going to run out. Right? That's scarcity. So financial freedom is not having a lot of money.
No, it's not. This just pops into my brain. This might be a really random tangent, but I'm going to go with it really quickly. When I'm trying to wind down at night, generally it's right after I've watched some true crime thing. It's really intense, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Go to bed.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't go to bed like this. Holy shit. So I have this little habit where I watch history shorts on YouTube where you just learn some random fact about people and things. So the other day I was watching one about the Vanderbilts. And it was just like, who are the Vanderbilts and how did they lose all their money? And I was like, this sounds interesting. 20 minutes, let's do it. Essentially, Papa Vanderbilt, however many generations back, made a shitload of money in the railway. And then instead of giving it to all of his family, he gave it to just one of his sons. And for whatever fucking reason, that son got increased the money, and then every other generation from there on out just started spending like crazy. And essentially, I didn't know this, but Anderson Cooper is actually like the last descendant of the Vanderbilts. He changed his name so that he's not a Vanderbilt, but he is a Vanderbilt. And he now has like, there was nothing left by the time he was born. The fortune is completely gone. And when they went into the mental health of like all of these successive Vanderbilts, it was like the people who had the most money and then they were just spending it like crazy were the least happy. And by the time that the money was gone, like happiness was restored in the family. And it's because they had never found a purpose in life. They just had all this money, they spent it, they did stupid shit, and then they lost all the money and the fortune is gone. And Papa Vanderbilt is rolling in his grave.
No vision.
No vision. No purpose. Classic, inheritance gone wrong moment.
Very classic inheritance gone wrong.
If anyone's interested in that story, it's on YouTube. I don't know what it's called. Just Google, how did the Vanderbilts lose all their money? Fascinating. Anyway, I think it just proves the point that, yeah, we all think we want just money, 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 but like we want enough to feel stable. We want to have some savings. We want to feel good in our life. But then what, right? There's so many other things. And I think most of us, maybe I'm generalizing, but you go out on your own and you build your business. Another thing I hear a lot in the world is, I want to hustle my ass off for 10 years so I can retire early and then enjoy my life. I think that's cool. I kind of want to, I guess I would be nice to retire early and not do that, but like, I don't.
Retirement is a total lie.
Yeah, I just don't know if I believe in the miss all of my kids' childhood so I can work my ass off to then sit around and do what? I don't know. Like, I would rather build freedom into my life now and then keep it.
Yeah, well, I think we need to change. There's all these unwritten rules of business that we've all just accepted as truth. You work for 30 years and then you retire and then you collect on that retirement and then you just play golf into the sunset or whatever the fuck, like whatever dumb thing you feel like doing, or you like get like really obsessed with your lawn. I'm thinking of like the oldest guy thing to do.
There are definitely a lot of people on my street that are obsessed with their lawn.
They like
I
really
see them
love
outside
their
all
lawn.
the time.
Oh yeah. Because they got nothing else to do because they work their whole life to then retire. But then there's people like, my dad never quote unquote retired because retirement is like the fastest way to atrophy. So it's like, yeah, you might not work the same job, do the same thing that you did in the past, but who gives a shit? You're still working. Like people like work in a lot of ways, or bringing the vision to life gives you the purpose we all need in this life. But that's like way too far down. I don't want to get there. Let's back up. We'll talk about another one that you touched on here, which is like success, another limiting belief, which is success should look different than this. Something that we all tell ourselves and something we hear a lot is like, well, if I was really successful, I'd be making more money, or I'd be charging higher rates, or I'd be feeling more confident. And the fact that I'm struggling means something is wrong with me. And, we hear this show up in a whole bunch of different ways, right? Something we heard recently was like, I've made all these sacrifices to this business and it doesn't feel like it's paying off.
Yes, that was hard to hear. That was a sad moment.
I'm making, even like, right. So it's like tethering our worth to the output or the impact of the business and not realizing that like impact comes from you. Like you are enough no matter how much money this business makes. A lot of people so we talk about financial freedom. It's like, well, they tie the success of the business to a commensurate in-house job. Oh, well, if I'm making what I'd make at a normal W-2, but I'm giving so much more of my time away to this. I don't have the freedom because I don't have the extra money. All of these things, like we've told ourselves, we painted a picture about like what success should look like. And it's tethering yourself to this because it's never going to look like you think it's going to look. Right? We've been blessed and have hit some pretty cool revenue milestones in this business. And I don't think either of us, like we celebrated, like, wow, this is amazing. Like, look at this amazing thing that's happening. Like, we're super grateful. But then also it's like it doesn't change anything. Like, you don't feel different. Like, there's no relief. It's like
the goalpost move.
The goalpost.
And now you're just
moves.
chasing something else. This is such a good question. I love this reframing prompt that I've got in front of me here. What if success isn't a number, it's a feeling? What feeling are you actually chasing?
Bingo.
Like, whoa. What feeling are you chasing? And that's going to be different for everyone. But it's just such a good place to start. I don't know where to take that. I don't want to go into an example of my own, but like, I'm still honestly figuring that there's a lot of this that, it takes time and that'll probably change as well.
Where this is going though, it's like, again, same thing. What if struggle isn't a requirement? What if you don't need to struggle to be successful? And that the struggle is actually just feedback that you're operating out of alignment. The idea is like, it shouldn't be hard. Like, it's not that things can't be difficult for you to do. Like, learning new things can be difficult, but that doesn't mean that the whole thing has to be hard. Like, in fact, it should be super easy. The ease is a sign that you're on the right track, right? It's the sign of an alignment and I think reprogramming this idea that it should be hard and say like, you can be successful, you can build the business that you're looking for while also taking care of yourself or taking time off whenever you want or hanging out with your kids or like really just tearing up this old contract. They're like, oh, well, I work 9 to 5 Monday through Fridays. That's the other part of this is like, we've told ourselves that I can rest outside of 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. And if I take time off during that time, therefore like now I'm on vacation or something. And it's like, this is like, you can just stop working whenever you want and go hang out with your kids.
Yeah. I do that all the time, but it's not a choice.
Well, that's a different thing.
That's because I work from home and my office is literally next to their playroom and it's terrible.
Yeah. But it's also amazing because you can just do, like, there's no rules. Like, why do you have to not work on the weekends? Like, why don't you just work when you're feeling really motivated to do some stuff? Like on Saturday, I was just like doing some stuff, hanging out with the kids in the backyard. And then I was like, ooh, I have like a great idea hit. And I was like, I need to like take 10 minutes and like explore this idea real quick. And it was great. It was fine. It was exactly what I needed because once you like, again, the idea of like forcing certain things during these hours is just like, it's just nonsense.
I've never understood the hours. I left the hours.
The Carnegies. You want to go back? You want to understand the hours? It's like the Vanderbilts and the Carnegies.
I left the hour thing in 2016. It's literally been 10 years since I've done the hour thing because, well, I guess when I was in Thailand, I was teaching and that was a set of hours, but I took breaks all throughout the day. And then,
yeah, but I think being a salaried employee, like there's an expectation,
there is an
expectation that you're available Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
100%. Yeah, I was a salaried employee.
Even right now, I think even our business right now is still lives in that cycle where it's like, and we're making active steps out of it.
Yeah. Yes. 100%.
But generally, it's like Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
Generally. I agree with
But
you.
I mean, I don't know if I'd want to take a client call on a Saturday.
No.
We'll decide. Maybe that's another thing, but like it's also a glide path. It's not like one day you just wake up and you go, there's no rules.
Look, you do have to operate within the bounds of society, and
This is true.
the people that we work with generally work 9 to 5. So like
They generally work within the bounds of society.
generally you have to live in society sometimes, unless you want to go start your own society. But look, like there are so many things we tell ourselves, and the more that we go down this path with our own business, the more I'm realizing, what the hell? Why? Every time you ask me a question, my answer is always, I don't know.
God, fuck.
Why are you doing this? I don't know.
Stop doing this to me.
Like, this is such a crazy one. I'm just reading all these prompts I have in front of me because they're so cool. Like, complete the sentence. Success to me means, and then you have to answer without mentioning money or comparison. Like, whoa. I guess, like, if I had to do that right now, just off the dome, success to me means, yeah, having the creative space to be creative whenever the hell I want. That would be crazy cool. I'm not there yet. We're on our way though. Again, like, God, I gotta keep bringing my toddlers into this. Like, not to blame them for all of my creative lapses, but damn, I was more creative before them. And I hear when they go to school, or if they're just like not around you all the time and being so needy, you can be creative again. This is just a hole right here. 0 to 5? It's just kind of like a hard time with kids. I do love my kids a lot.
But I think that's a limiting belief though.
It's hard though. Like, they're so needy.
Yeah, but like
energy.
the whole, yeah. I mean, they definitely do take a lot of energy, but I think the point is reprogram or recalibrate your relationship with that idea.
Yeah.
Because it's not that like, well, once like this idea of like, well, once they're out of the house, I can be creative again. It's like, I think it's just their existence also drives a lot of creativity. Like that shit that my 3-year-old does. I'm like, he's the most creative person in the world right now. And I'm like, that is also being around that.
Their imaginations are wild.
That's what I'm saying.
It is very cool to be
being
in
around
world,
that is creative. That's creative fuel for sure.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think I have a one-dimensional view of what creativity looks like, which is I'm uninterrupted and I have time to like write like I want. Or I'm doing that at noon instead of 10 p.m. at my kitchen table after everyone's asleep. Like, to just change my relationship with that is something that I've realized is like, one, it works like for me now, and it might not work forever, and it might change over time as the kids age. But I think that's the big one.
My thing, and I'm again bringing up some stuff for me, like,
It's become a therapy session for you now.
this is fantastic. No, you're right. And I think what I just said about how like when my toddlers are older, I'll have that back. I think that's wrong. Because actually, I'm just, whenever I feel sometimes, I don't know if anyone else does this. I don't think you do this, Nick. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I hear a sentence that makes me feel a type of way, I'm like, ooh, I got to write that down. Have to write that sentence down. Do you ever do that?
I do have some sentences, but it's not often. I don't collect good sentences. I do know people who do that, but it is more so a writer thing.
I think it's a writer thing. It's probably
all
a writer
the writers I know collect good sentences. I do not collect sentences though.
Well, yesterday,
often.
I'm proving myself wrong here. That's where I'm going with this. Yesterday, October 12th, 11:25 a.m. I am absolutely with my kids at this time. And I don't know why I wrote this down, but I must have heard it on something or someone said it somewhere. I wrote this down. You drink the tea, but you taste in stories. Think about it. You drink the tea, but you taste this. Oh no, it's you drink the tea, but you taste the story. I think I wrote it down wrong. Essentially, I think someone was talking about how like it's not the tea that matters, that makes you feel like really good when you're drinking. It's the story about the tea. Whatever. Look, there's not enough context here. I'm gonna have to do some more thinking, and I don't even remember why I wrote that down.
Yeah, where are you going with the tea situation?
I'm not going anywhere specific with the tea.
Okay.
I write things down that make me feel so that I can then return to them and try to feel that feeling again and then go somewhere creative with it. And my point is this. I did this when I was with my kids. So clearly there's still creativity around when I'm with them. Maybe it was like a kid show. Maybe someone said something. Maybe we're watching TV. The point is, I can be more creative when I'm with them than I gave myself credit for in that moment. That's all. That was the whole point of that.
Well, I think what you're saying and what you're alluding to with your T sentence and where we're going with all of this is like, I know that the offers and the content and all the stuff that we're doing truly matters. But what we have seen time and time again is that the mindset is actually the most important part of this. Your relationship with your own thoughts matter more than money.
Yeah.
It matters more than any number of employees you may want to have in your business. And to change what it means to be a business owner, right? This idea that we have to struggle or we have to give something up to be successful and replace it with the clarity, right? The vision of where you want to go, the freedom to operate entirely, the freedom to do whatever you want and to build this business in the way that you want, and also continuing to make an impact. Like all of these things can be true. And we have found, like I said, that yes, the tactics and the frameworks are super important. But when you let go of the guilt and the urgency and the scarcity and all the limiting beliefs that keep you and the business small, you learn to show up with an unshakable posture. You stop self-abandoning and you build a business that is truly a reflection of who you are and not who you think you need to be.
Damn. It feels good just to hear it, you know?
It feels good to say it. I think it's something that we've been circling a lot lately. And as much as I love talking about offers and I love talking about content and all the frameworks and stuff that we utilize to make the thing go, this is like the work beneath the work. Because a lot of times we're trying to find like the line between those who like achieve their own definition of success and those who are still kind of like, they're not gaining the traction they're looking for. And a lot of it is mindset. I actually noticed this. Now that I'm thinking about it, I noticed it with one of my first ever clients a couple of years ago. And he was like, I think the thing that I articulated it back then, I was like, he's not afraid of money. He was like the first solopreneur I ever knew doing like $50,000 a month. And I was like, how is this possible? He's like, I actually have no idea how this is happening. And I realized that like he had no limiting beliefs about money. He had no scarcity in his life. He had no urgency in his life in that way. None of it held him back. Like he attracted all of the right people. And it wasn't through content. It was just through him. Like he was really good at what he did, but he attracted all the right people. He was really, really good. He's very competent, but he had limiting beliefs in other areas of his life. Like we all face them in various ways. But the thing about the money was that he just had no fear. He just knew there was going to be more clients. He knew there was going to be more money. He didn't care. He would fire clients freely, charge them whatever he wanted. And he wasn't the most known quantity in the world. Like he has a very little to no online presence in that way.
Is he still successful today?
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. He's keeping things, quote unquote, small. It's like just him and he has one other person do some like admin stuff with him, but it was a great life.
So he's happy. And what I'm hearing is he doesn't feel like he needs to scale beyond the 50K a month. Yeah. He's good. Yeah. He doesn't want to build a business beyond him.
He doesn't need to. He doesn't have that. That's not on his vision. Like his vision is like his several young kids and 2 dogs. And he's like, and his wife, and he's like, everything's great. I want my life back. And he rebuilt the thing. And the thing with the money is that he had no fear over where the money was going to come from. He had no fear over if there was going to be enough left. He knew. And there was something about that I just kind of like, there was like a mental bookmark on this. And I was like, I've never seen someone operate like this before. This was a few years ago. And the more people we work with, it's like, I'm starting to notice that there are a lot of people that operate this way. And when you remove that scarcity and that urgency, especially around money and just the health of the business, I mean, it starts with you, right? It has nothing, it's like the business is an extension of you, especially in the way that in the people that we're working with. But when you release that fear and that guilt or whatever that scarcity around money, it changes everything.
It really does.
I wish I had a more concrete way to describe it, but it really does fundamentally change.
It's a trust fall. And a lot of people don't want to fall backwards when they can't see if someone's there to catch them. But a lot of this work does require that mentality. Like you do have to kind of trust. You have to trust first and foremost yourself that you can get there. And I don't think a lot of people do. And that is step one. Because everything you build, if you build your whole business on a foundation where you don't trust in yourself that you're gonna, no matter what comes your way, you're gonna get through it. Like, you know.
I don't know, is it trust or is it just a knowing? Like he knew. A lot of the people that we know.
I guess they mean the same thing to me in this context.
I guess so. But it's like they know that they can have what they're looking for. And a lot of it comes down to the vision. I think it all comes back to, as we like wrap this, comes back to the vision. And those who scale and those who don't, or those who reach that level of that goal, those who reach that level of freedom that they're looking for, comes back to the vision, right? Do you know what you're working towards? Because everything else, if you don't have that vision, you're living in incremental. You're just reshuffling deck chairs over and over and over again. I'm confident, I know, having seen this multiple times across multiple entrepreneurs and plenty of friends and other peers, like that this, like being able to rework your mindset, like there's no, I can't make you a great offer so good that it will set you free. You can't write someone some content that is so good that they will know what to do with it, or that it will just make them more of what they already are. If the mindset thing, if we don't help recalibrate the mindset, that's the number one thing that we hear from people over and over and over again, especially as they go through the program. They're like, the offer was great, the content slaps, the mindset stuff is where the biggest unlocks happened, because the bottleneck was them the whole time, not the offer.
Boom. That's very profound.
Yeah. But the offer, I mean, look, the way that we think about it too is like, well, the offer and the content feed the machine so that it can surface all of these limiting beliefs or these less than productive thoughts, or these less than empowering thoughts that we have. That then, it's like, if there's no leads, you're going to be living in scarcity. Like, oh, like this tends to happen at that downward spiral.
And if there's no offer, then you're never going to be able to free yourself the way you want. Like you need all these things. But if the offer and the content are feeding the machine, like you are the circuit board.
Yeah, these things surface pretty quickly.
Yeah.
That's really, I think that's kind of that's the reframe for us, which is like, we thought that it's the offer and the content were the thing, but they're actually just the catalyst. They enable the change in the place that matters most, right? The mindset. And it creates all of these, I guess, good problems. I don't know. It just surfaces all of these things that we think about ourselves, or these things that we tell ourselves about the way the world is and the way that business is, or how we just have to run our business this way. And what's been really cool is to watch it happen to us, the way that we've built our own business. And we've built it with a lot of existing mental scaffolding that is very much broken. And we were like, oh, turns out that you don't have to do things this way. We just accidentally agreed to it, or we unintentionally agreed to do things a certain way, because that's just the way that you tell yourself, that's just the way it is. But the good news is that there are no rules. Nothing is the way that it is. If anything, as Christopher Lockhead always says, everything is the way that it is because somebody changed the way that it was. So now you get to decide, right? Are you going to be part of this next class of entrepreneurs who get to build a business that supports their freedom? Or are you just going to build one that that you want to like scale into oblivion and sacrifice your time and live in urgency and live in fear? And like, which one do you want?
I want to be free.
I want to be free. I think everybody wants to be free.
Yeah.
I just don't think that we've thought about it very hard, or a lot of people that we talk to are kind of just going to the end of the week. And I want to reorient ourselves to, like, as, what's his name? Cal Newport said in Slow Productivity, he goes, let's look at ourselves and what productivity means, not on days or weeks, but on years and decades. And I think that's totally true. I think it totally applies here.
It does. This is my favorite part of our business, is that most of what I've seen out there, especially when I was shopping around for coaching, when I first went out on my own, was there's either mindset coaching or there's like implementation business coaching. Rarely do they come together. And I don't think we set out to be mindset coaches.
Not even a little bit.
Not even
but
a tiny little bit. But it happened, and I'm glad it did, because not only are you very good at it, you're better, but that's good because we're not supposed to be the same at everything. The breakthroughs that clients are having on calls are crazy. And besides all of the like mechanics and the dials that we're tweaking and moving for people to get them recognized, do the marketing, do the offer, engagement model, all that stuff, like the biggest piece of feedback we're getting from clients is that, wow, I feel more confident. I feel like I have clarity. This feels amazing. And it's like, oh, shit, like that's it. That's very cool.
That's the real impact. And I think we've been kicking around this idea of durability lately. And that is the real durable part of our business. Like at some point, AI will create your offer in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
AI will stop sucking. It will suck less at content. I think you'll always need content people.
It will absolutely suck less. Every month it sucks less. Yeah.
It becomes easier every day.
Yeah.
To do that. And at some point, that's not going to be the most durable part of the skill set. Like our ability to help people achieve this, to build a business that they're free from, and a life that they're free from, or free with.
Free in? Free in?
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, whatever preposition.
Whatever. Yeah, come on, words person.
Whatever. Just pick a preposition. It's fine.
Pick a
Just pick a preposition. It's fine.
To help people build a life that is free, like that to us is really where I think the durability comes from, because AI can't take that.
No.
Not yet, at least. Not for a while.
And it shouldn't take your humanity. Like the whole point of AI is to augment your humanity, not take it. And this is the human stuff.
No.
If that makes sense. All right, I want to end it on this. I'm going to read 12 limiting beliefs. And then I want you, dear listener, to go think about this. And I want you to leave knowing that none of this is real and that you can control this one step at a time. So here we go. I'm not enough. I have to struggle to be successful. If I rest, everything will fall apart. Success should look different than this. I can't trust others to do this work. I'm responsible for everyone else's feelings and outcomes. I have to choose between business success and personal life. There's not enough. Who I am isn't enough. I can't change this without blowing everything up. My worth is determined by external validation, and success means doing it all myself. Basically, this all comes down to this is just how it has to be. And we're here to tell you this is not how it has to be at all. So yeah, I hope we've inspired you today to do some reflection, look in the mirror, and realize that you really are in control and that you can build something that feels free.